All right, let's start it out. Hello and welcome to the Wormhole. My name is Jamie Burchell, and you are listening to and are watching our podcast called Wormhole Pinball Presents. Today, I am so ecstatic and that they said yes. I'm joined by Jim and Dina Lindsay of JDL Pinball. I'm such an enormous fan of you, and I copy everything you do. So I'm sorry for that. But if for those in the States that are watching and the might be familiar with you guys, you stream competitive pinball.
We do.
Throughout Europe. You streamed the IFPA 16 in 2019 in Italy, which was brilliant, and IFPA 18 World Championships in Germany, both amazing events. So,
Freddy's Pinball Paradise, yeah, and we will be streaming the IFPA 20 in Austria.
That was my next question. So that's pretty exciting, right?
Oh yeah, we're already making plans. So
and what is your home base? Where is your home?
Okay, we live in Germany, in somewhere called North Rhine-Westphalia, which Gina can explain better than me.
Well, it's basically west, pretty much in the middle of Germany, sort of close to the west border with the Netherlands and Belgium. So basically, we are very well located. The airport of Düsseldorf is 30 minutes away. And we can be in the Netherlands in an hour and 20 minutes. We can be in the northern coast of Germany in 2.5 hours. And Frankfurt area is 2.5, 3 hour drive as well. So, so very central.
We do quite a lot. Most of our streaming venues we can drive to, which then means we can transport the equipment around.
And that's a lot of equipment, isn't it?
Yes.
It's grown. It's a bit like pinball machines. You start off with one, and then the next thing. Well, look behind you, Jamie. There's more than one there. And we're the same. And the pinball streaming started the same. We started in 2016, long time ago, at the German Pinball Open in very close to where we are, in Gladbeck, and that was. Basically, me being so crazy, I volunteered to do it. There was
like 2 months prior to the tournament, and nobody knew how to do it. So
and I said, wouldn't it be great if we could? And then the next thing I got my hand to volunteer. Then I went out and bought some cameras, and that's where we started. And that was back in the day of, you can't mention the name, John Trudeau and Ghostbusters. And we had John Trudeau there as the guest of honor, and he was co-commentating with my youngest daughter, Kate, who I don't know if you know, is the female voice of the Game of Thrones.
So, and the final machines were Game of Thrones and Ghostbusters. So basically, it was a dream team commentary, and it's one of the most watched videos, despite the Logitech webcam quality on the playfield stream.
The quality was awful. The quality
it was not bad.
It was
the
good.
Quality of the game was great.
Yeah, it was. Yeah. That's a long time ago.
That was a long time ago, and it was pretty classic in a way that. In the final, Albert Nomden, one of the great champions from the Netherlands, he passed away last year, unfortunately, and he came first and followed closely by Johannes Ostermeier, who back then was
very small.
He was already rather tall, but he was still he was very young. So that was a great event, and great stream that.
But can I just make a call out to everybody, because I know a lot of people in the US do follow us, and obviously our fan base in Europe. So just thanks to everybody for the follows, the subs, the cheers, everything everybody does that makes our life possible, Jamie. You're dependent on that audience. Without it, we'd be nowhere.
It is such an important part of what we do, is the feedback and we're not looking for attaboys. We just want to make it as good as possible for everyone, right? And I think my stream started out really bad. We were terrible. And Phil Grimaldi, who's a pinball player here in Houston, was yelling at me, going, "What are you doing?"
And it's not got any better.
And I think it's gotten a little better. A little bit better. We've got a 2 rig system that we're building
Wow.
for the Wormhole. And we just upgraded our cameras, and we just upgraded these. So now we'll
Yeah,
have 6 of
I
those.
recognize those.
I'm sure you do. I steal as much as humanly possible from you guys, and so
Not a problem. If I've said this to every streamer, we are not competitors. We're all providing a service to the community. And
1,000%. I think the more streaming pinball that we can do of competitive pinball, the better it is for all of us.
yeah.
And how we can just grow this sport, because it really is a sport and it's just fantastic. I love it.
So I always say, if anybody wants to share ideas, ask for tips or all the rest of it, then just do. I had the great pleasure of Fox Cities guys over in Freddy's at IFPA, and to spend time with them was absolutely great. And
They are the GOAT, right? I mean, that's what we're trying to all do, right? We're trying to.
we are. I would say, without being sort of immodest, we are the #1 streamer in Europe. But
Yeah.
it doesn't take much to get to that bar. Because there aren't many streamers in Europe.
Nope.
We do it as professionally as we can, and I think we do a good job. But when you then look over the other side of the pond, the level of pinball play, tournaments, everything is so much higher, and therefore there are forced to be more people covering that area. America is a big place. You couldn't do it from one small streaming outfit in the center of America. So people like Fox, IE, of course, and the others, Backbox we were with.
Backhand.
But which one?
Backhand. Backbox is a podcast.
Oh yeah, Backbox is a podcast. Backhand, we were with the UK Open over in Croydon with Neil McRae. You meet these guys, you sort of see them online, you see them streaming, you chat to them, you email, you send ideas backwards and forwards, but to actually meet up with the guys is wonderful.
It is wonderful. This community itself is so special to me. I'm so happy to be a part of it since early 2019, and just it really just puts your arm around you and just says, hey, come on in, and let's teach you pinball, and let's teach you how to stream, and whatever you need. It's just open arms. I love it. Love it.
It was wonderful this year because obviously with the IFPA 18, lots of American players, overseas players, American, Australian players came to Germany and picked up the European Pinball Championship along the way, which we actively were tournament directors of. So it was really, really nice to meet lots and lots of people that we haven't met before personally, but sort of know of them.
But it really created the ability for a lot of the US guys to come over. The fact that we coupled the European Pinball Championship with the Olympics, with the IFPA 18 in France, in 10 days. Well, we were streaming for 11 consecutive days of pinball. And the guys were playing 11 days of consecutive pinball, and that made it worth them flying over. They flew over, and they didn't just fly in and out. It was a full solid performance by so many of the US guys and other people from around the world as well.
Yeah.
And because of that dedication, it created. We all got to know each other pretty well.
Yeah,
It's really, really special. It was awesome.
That's awesome. You, Jim, are currently, I have it written down here, 628th in the world.
That sounds about right.
Dina, you are 1,113th in the world, and your women's rank is 612.
Yes. Pretty
good players, great commentators, and TDs. Oh my God, how do you win with doing all that at once? It's very difficult.
We don't win very often.
We don't win very often
because of that.
Yeah,
partially.
I have a theory for this that's to do with the planets in the solar system.
Okay.
That if you consider every game of pinball to be a planet, then once every now and again, all the planets will be in line, and when they're in line, each one of those planets represents your very good game of pinball. Okay, and so when they're spinning round, you get lots of times when you only have one good game, but occasionally you get them all. Okay, and that's a tournament that you get through to the playoffs. You might even get through to the finals. Okay, and if you play a lot of tournaments, if you play as many tournaments as me and Dina do, the chance of the alignment of those planets is a lot higher than the guy just going once a year to District 82.
Well, since we started doing the tournament directing, we actually played a lot less tournaments because in the outfit of like 5-6 tournaments of the weekend,
You can't play
we can't play them all because we're either streaming the finals that are still going on while the second tournament started, or something else, or doing something else. So out of 11 days of pinball, I actually played 3 tournaments, which was really disappointing.
We still got some points.
Yes, well, I did really well in the group match play. So lots of top-level American players were taken 7 points off by me. So yes, that was very
I was blown away. I was looking at pinball maps, and the European pinball scene itself is, when I was preparing for this interview, when I finally visit Europe next year, after the Dutch Pinball Museum, where am I going? What are my spots?
Dutch Pinball Museum is a good place to start.
Yeah.
We streamed the Dutch Pinball Open from there.
I was watching a couple. That was a month ago, 2 months ago. Yeah,
it was a real stream challenge because of very low ceilings, and but anyway, that actually caused me to have another upgrade of equipment following that stream. But then you've got Belgium, great places in Belgium. If you like seafood, go to Ostend. And a guy called Kurt Louis runs a place called the West Coast Pinball Place with a collection of machines you wouldn't believe.
It's a private house that has pinball machines on 3 levels.
3 floors.
And it's every turn that's been made since early 2000s, with everything, with all the upgrades that you can possibly think.
Every topper, every special plunger, every little toy on the play field, every lighting up speaker grills, everything.
Yeah.
Okay. And he has about 65 machines, and we've streamed some tournaments from there. And he's upgrading again. He's wanting to set up a classic room now, with a view of maybe world championships in a few years. So keep your eye on that space. So that's one to visit.
Then Pinball Universe in Bünde in Germany. That's Stern dealer and a great place. Absolutely, they do lots of Stern Army tournaments, sort of 1-2 day smaller events.
They run academies as well. Yeah. They do training of people. They're purposing. They're our sponsor, by the way. That's Pinball Universe in the top left-hand corner of all our streams. And their focus is to bring pinball to the community. So they put pinballs on location. They'll loan pinballs to tournaments. They'll attend exhibitions, whether it's cosplay or pinball exhibitions on their own, just in order to bring it to the general public.
What a great organization that is.
Yeah. Then you can come to visit us.
Yeah, you can see us. We'll take you to our garden and
we'll take you to our club, which is a collective type of entity. It's called freeplay.Ruhr. Ruhr is the river where the Ruhr area is obviously adjacent to. We have around about 50 machines and also play 3 to 4 big tournaments a year, and open to the public every month.
So anybody from America, if you want to pop over for a weekend, make it a weekend when free play's open, and you can come.
Absolutely, absolutely. That would be brilliant.
But then you've got to go down the Frankfurt area and the Folder and Freddy's and Seligenstadt, the pinball museum.
Tim and John and I, who are the guys of the Wormhole, want to do it. And we want that. It's either a 2024 or 2025 initiative for us, and we want to make that happen. So
that's great.
Whatever happens, Jamie, you're going to be a lot better than Jeff Teolis.
Oh, I mean, he's, poor guy's Canadian. He can't help himself, but uh, he's a very,
we've had it. We've entertained him a few times now,
he's
and
been very nice to me.
It'll be nice to have a change.
Yeah, absolutely. It would be nice. It would be nice.
We love Jeff to bits, and he knows that.
We of course have a third member of the JDL Pinball team. This is our pinball puppy, JD.
Oh my gosh.
Just walking up and wanted to say hello.
Yeah. So JD has her own camera, a puppy cam on the stream. She doesn't go to all of them because she's sometimes not allowed in the venue.
Yeah.
But if she is, then she'll have a puppy cam that can swing around and watch her play, or whatever.
Well, JD is a good segue for, Woodstock equipment. There's probably only going to be 12 or 13 streamers listening, but these questions are for us. Okay. Like how many rigs do you have? Do you have 2 mobile rigs or
three? Three rigs.
And 3 rigs.
And I'll tell you why. This was actually Dina's brain.
Yeah, it was my way. It was my wish.
We did IFPA 16 in Italy. Okay, absolutely awesome. First time we'd done a world championship, and we were running around everywhere. It was behind, in front of the camera. It all looked very calm. It wasn't. And what we realised was that the way the IFPA system works for the world championship is that they draw cards, but each group is given 3 machines to play on. Okay. And so you think, okay, we can do that with 2 rigs, definitely, because we can put one on the first machine, we can put the second on the second machine, we can leapfrog the first to the third.
Sure.
No, because the machines either side of the third machine are being played by other groups. So therefore, you sterilize. So Dina said, look, build a third rig, which I did. And then that means when the group set out, we've got a team of people, we've got some JDL helpers who were awesome, and they all set off with a rig each, and they were set up on the 3 machines before the players started playing the first game. And that means that you follow that group through a complete story. And my aim and belief is that pinball should be about the people, and it should be about the story of the game, and the games themselves are not secondary, the why we're watching the thing. But if you can keep that story in line, then it becomes really entertaining for the viewer.
Yes.
You can then also use your first rig, okay, which is finished after the first game, to pick up what we call bonus pinball. So if there are games still going on after the end of game 3 of the group you are following, you can use machine rig 1 or rig 2 in order to pick up another group.
Which is normally very predictable because you can see what the progress on other games is. And sometimes the group that you picked is in game 3 and another group is still in game 1, because obviously sometimes a group has to start with a modern machine. So therefore, then you see what's on their card and move the other 2 rigs respectively.
2 games of another group.
So we basically didn't have any gaps in transmission with this system, but it's also probably specific to Europe because we don't have locations that are massive halls. So our pinball locations are normally like a proper setup. So therefore, the rooms are slightly smaller. I mean, in Italy, the layout didn't always permit me to wheel in and out at all because there were just other games being played, like not even right next to each other, but in the sort of out on the way out. Of the row, and that's why we said 3 rigs, put them on straight away, and then you don't have the motion and you don't disturb other players, because obviously it's important that the players keep concentrating on what they're doing. And the biggest compliment was given by Andy Bagwell, who said, "I didn't even see you move." And that is the biggest compliment to the tournament streamer that you can possibly get.
Streamer should be invisible, if possible. Okay,
absolutely. We're producers on the side.
Exactly. Now we are a lot more accepted than we were. Back in the day, 2016, you had to be really careful not to upset the players, because If they were waiting for you or you were in the way, all the rest of it, they usually are quite agitated, and they weren't used to the cameras. Now,
Right.
nowadays they are used to the cameras. So if you want 4 players to stop playing while you wheel the rig in place, it's actually quite acceptable now to do that. It wouldn't have been 5 years ago. That would have been a definite no-no.
We've had some people that didn't want to be streamed, right?
Yeah.
And so we have a tough situation there because at the Wormhole you're going to be streamed.
Yeah.
So, but I don't want it to be so black or white with them. So I said, would you mind wearing maybe a mask, or would you be okay if I showed the back of you? Okay, and just change the face camera. And so we work these things out, right? I mean, because
and you have to. I mean, we put a disclaimer in the announcement material for tournaments to say basically, by registering and coming to this tournament, you agree to be streamed and photographed. Because it's, again, going back to 2016-17, I used to have flaps over the player camera so that the player could actually shut it off. So the game was streamed without the player being streamed. And there were very few people use that, but it was a mechanism to sort of allow the thing to continue, because back then it was sort of a little alien.
Well, I think it's a psychological pressure just to have a rig in front of you. We have lots of great players here in Europe who are absolutely a joy to watch and to have on stream, or they have that sort of that barrier in them that once they see the rig, they get nervous and potentially play worse. But we're getting there. So
We're training.
yes, we're training them to love the camera. And it's just, and because how great the feedback from the audience on those players is, you tend to tell them that. I mean, one of the greatest moments of the IFPA 18 was Markus Stix, the player from Austria, winning on bonus on Eric Stone in the last game of their quarterfinal. And that was on stream. And Marcus is one of them, one of the players who absolutely is terrified and hates it. But because he's such a good friend and such a great person, you sort of like make your moves and say, Marcus, it's great to have you on stream, and you're so loved by the audience and things. And so now it's a lot better. It was a lot worse a few years ago for him.
Absolutely.
Yeah. We had a little mini revolt about people coming to the Wormhole and being streamed, but I think as they've come to realize, we're not doing it to make ourselves famous or make money, because we're
definitely not.
That's not happening, right? We do it because we really, really love pinball, and we love competitive pinball, and it's such a nice little thing that we're doing. And I love the idea of where you put what is it called? What'd you call it? Where you put the thing on top of it?
Oh, the flap over the camera. Yeah.
What a brilliant idea. That's really
that was back in Logitech cameras days. You used to be able to buy the flaps. They used to be able to buy a camera, a webcam with a flap, and it was designed for when you had it on top of your laptop and you didn't want anybody to be watching you online. You used to drop the little flap down.
Yeah.
So you have an eye in the sky camera. Where is the eye in the sky camera?
Right. Okay. We do things probably slightly differently to I think any other streamer, and it's because we are in venues where there can be multiple rooms. There can be machines that are not accessible from Wi-Fi direct connection. Okay. So what we do is we have something called a receiver pole. So those devices that you have on top of that pole there are SDI enabled, and they connect via a cable, normally 35-meter cable, to the control desk. So our wireless receivers are 35 meters away from the commentary position.
Okay.
And on the top of that pole is a camera. They're now PTZs. I've just upgraded them again. And the PTZs can be controlled remotely, so they can be controlled back from the desk. And that gives you another ability to zoom in on a game after your streaming games are finished.
When you debuted that camera, I was watching, or it was one of the first times I've seen it. I geeked out on it so much, Dina, that I texted my wife and said, "Hey, I need to buy this, whatever he's buying." See, the beauty of you two is you enable each other, and you say, "I think we need a third rig." Oh, okay, let's get a third rig.
I know, so it was her idea.
I know that's beautiful. I've got it. I'll bring my wife with me, and you need to tell me that these streaming things are very, very important for Jamie.
Absolutely, yeah. And we can give her some wine.
Yeah, well, that's perfect because she loves her reds, so that'll work out perfectly.
Okay,
so
got
straight to Dina.
Dina,
I did the sommelier qualification during lockdown, so the
oh no, that's lovely.
Wine is a big part of my life, especially talking about it.
So yeah, so bring her over. Dina will provide the wine.
Yeah.
And all the background and everything. We do blind wine tasting evenings as well. Not that we go blind, we cover the bottle with.
We might not come back, so be careful. You don't want the Birchells over there. So get to know me a little more before you send that invite. Let's talk about open broadcasting software. Do you use it?
OBS.
OBS.
I used to use XSplit for many years when I first kicked off, and that was because it was paid for, and I assumed that paid for was better than and I persevered with XSplit. I put a lot of work into it, and XSplit is really nice and very, very straightforward to operate, but it is not as powerful. So OBS, when I made the switch to OBS, which was a few years ago now, I was amazed at the depth that you could go to and the nested scenes and all the rest you can put together. My streaming setup is incredible. I don't know how many scenes there are, but probably 100 or something.
That is another reason I want to come. I just want to pick your brain and
just want to take a look at this computer.
I just want to see all your scenes. I want to see the amount of USB hubs you have on the back of that computer. I want to see the amount of video cards you have. I just want to get out on it.
It's a lot, and it's expensive. The interface. I was explaining about the SDI. The SDI comes back to the commentary desk. It goes into a external Sonnet PCIe box that lets you put two capture cards in there. I've got two of those, and in each box there is a 4-channel SDI capture and a 4-channel HDMI capture.
Okay.
The computer I use, which is the one we've got here, is an Alienware, Dell Alienware, top of the range thing. It's got more of everything than you can spec. And the power is easily enough to run the system. You do need, if you're going to do something, I'm bringing in basically 9 cameras from the rigs, 2 cameras from the hall, 2 cameras for commentator, and a camera for JD. So you've got a lot of power to just process that. So you do need a pretty powerful computer. Most people would do that with the desktop.
Yeah.
I actually bought.
We ordered the desktop.
An Alien desktop PC.
Took about 4 months to get it.
Yeah, it was specially ordered, and it came, and it was 22 kilograms just for the computer.
And we live on the 4th floor in an apartment block, so we pretty much decided on the 2nd floor that is going back.
It went straight back, and I said from there, the route for a tournament streamer is a high power laptop with the external connectivity. So that's where we went. We have how many stream decks now? 5.
Yes.
5 stream.
You have 5 stream decks?
Yeah, I don't use them all at the same time. I use 3 stream decks on a stream, One is
I have one, and I don't even have all the buttons used.
oh no, mine are bigger one. Mine are the big ones. Well,
Oh,
yeah,
I know. I don't even.
yeah, we don't. We
I'm
don't.
so addicted to using OBS
Yeah.
and running my own producer show that I don't press the Stream Deck yet. I haven't used it enough.
Yeah, no, Stream Decks are wonderful. So all of the scene switching is all done from Stream Deck. There's a Stream Deck for the co-commentator, so that brings up the little applause and sad trombones and all that sort of thing. So I give a Stream Deck to the co-commentator, so they get to press all the buttons and do the nice things. And then there's one that's just general settings.
No, it's really great. It's not, it's your personality coming out and as in your producing, and there's nothing wrong with that. I think it's fantastic. It's lovely.
It's
yeah, the co-commentators absolutely love it.
Yeah, and the co-commentators are so important. I mean, I can sit for 11 days and talk about pinball. It comes to the point where the audience have sort of heard a little bit of enough of me. So to bring in the co-commentator, it just brings another dimension to it. Now, again, you compare that to Carl with IE, particularly. He will bring in commentators, so you won't see Carl in front of the camera most of the time. Carl is the producer in the background making it all happen.
Yeah.
Now, if I do that, pretty much as soon as I walk away from the computer, things start to go wrong because people press the wrong buttons, and it's not set up for, like, to the side remote control. It's more being on the desk and doing things hands on.
Absolutely. This is my control center.
Yeah. Now, in that, then that means I can't produce the nice, slick transitions all the time between things. So, and I love the way that Carl puts that together. It comes across as a television program.
He does, and that's a 2024 initiative for the Wormhole as well. Yeah,
tremendous. Now I try and achieve that when I put the videos post-process up onto YouTube.
Right. So you stream on Twitch, and then you put your videos on demand on YouTube, like the rest of us, right?
Yeah. And I generally take, if you take the World Championship, you take it and you take the three rigs on the three machines. I will create one video of that story of three machines and create a separate video for that. It'll go into a playlist of the World Championship or whichever tournament it is. But you can then, from a tournament weekend, you can create 10, 12 videos.
Yeah.
A lot of work in post-processing, post-editing, but I think that's worth it as well.
So you need a Donovan, because I have Donovan who does all our videos.
Okay.
And he does all our Twitch videos and all he's been a savior for me, because if I had to do it myself, I would get no work done at my company.
I tend to just take things on, which can be a disadvantage. You should really delegate more, and I should have a Donovan.
Yeah,
would be a great addition to the team.
And there again, darling, it's your it's you time with your hobby, and it's the time when I can do lots of my other hobbies. Which kind of don't correspond with video editing very well, because normally it involves a shovel.
And I'm also now doing YouTube shorts. So
no, those are fun. Those are good. And you can pull one 1 minute video at a particular moment in pinball history.
One was Marcus Stix and Eric Stone.
Yeah,
because the display of sportsmanship from them both at the end of that game, Eric was absolutely awesome. It was. I got to know him quite well over IFP 18, and really.
It was great to have him over. So yeah.
So couple questions left. What's your worst stream disaster that you've had when you're streaming?
Well, it's funny you should mention that, because the start of IFPA 18, our 11 days of consecutive pinball streaming, this alien computer failed. We'd taken all the equipment down. It's the three 3.5 hour drive down from here to Bulls and Balls in Fulda. We'd taken all the equipment down with plenty of time. We got it all set up and working.
Well, we were setting up for the European Pinball Championship.
So we travelled on the Wednesday night. We were there for the Thursday. The first tournament started, I think, from the Thursday night or Friday. The computer, it didn't just fail. It catastrophically failed. It died. Yeah? And I didn't have a backup plan. So I jumped in the car. Well, actually, I found a computer expert who happened to be in the club, which was fortunate. We went through some sort of things we might be able to quickly fix, and worked out we couldn't. And he agreed to take the computer away with him and work on it overnight and try and get it recovered. And we got BitLocker problems and all sorts of things on it.
Oh.
So as a backup plan, I drove back up here 3.5 hours. Put together the streaming equipment that I used at IFPA 16, because I never throw anything away. Tested it all out, went to bed about 3:30 in the morning. Got up the next morning and drove back down to Balls and Balls with Plan B equipment. And fortunately, the guy had managed to recover the computer. And so we continued.
It was his last attempt.
He
said that was he sort of had a bit of a hunch, and but he was going to completely reformat it after that if it had.
While I was up here, I got all the backup files and everything, so that if he did have to restore it, we could get the computer back up running again. And since then, I tend to carry that with me.
It's a panic attack, isn't it? It's
you literally, what do you do?
Yeah.
You're like, there's going to be no stream of the World Championship. There's going to be no stream of the European Championship. That's bad enough. But then, you work it all the way through. You've got a week to the World Championships. And you can't buy another computer. Well, I looked. We could probably get something similar. But
you need to set it up. Well, and the 1 week before going to Italy 4 years ago, it was exactly the same. You burned the chip, a sound chip in the previous version of the Alien.
And we bought another one on Amazon and got it next day delivery.
Yeah, it was prior to the Corona crisis, so electronics were available freely. But this one took half a year to get.
Something about World Championships. Maybe we should stop streaming them.
Oh, you're doing great with them. They're fantastic. Ours is I drove 5 hours and then I didn't bring the video cards.
I've had lots of things like that.
Okay. And so I have this list and I checked it like Santa Claus. I checked it 3 to 4 times, and I brought and then so there was a Walmart that had 3 left. in Aberdeen, Abilene, Texas, which is 5 hours away in the middle of nowhere, really.
Yeah.
And they invited us to stream this, 80-person tournament, and had a big deal that the Wormhole was coming, and dumb. But
yeah,
I actually have pretty much a second set of everything.
I do now.
Because that's packed, that's ready to take with me. But the last thing we streamed, which was the one before, the Dutch Pinball one we streamed a couple of weeks ago, I arrived there and I'd forgotten the Thunderbolt cables that connect the computer to these external Sonic boxes. Okay, Thunderbolt cables are quite special. You can get USB-C high quality cables. They're not forced to work. And another friend streamer of mine, Jules, was there. He uses Mac. And I'd got one spare cable with me. He'd got one, so I managed to run. Otherwise, I was driving an hour and a half back from the result.
Well, there was a massive electronics stores right next to it, so you would have got one there. But
of course, now there are two more spare cables in the bag, because it's just crazy to get to some.
People watch us and they say, "Hey, would you be interested in streaming this tournament? Coming to here and go and streaming that tournament?" And lately I've been saying no, because it's such an ordeal moving this system. Right? And it's such an ordeal that we stream Space City Open, which is our Houston Super Bowl, and
Yep.
then all the events here in Houston, and then we stream TPF, which is the Texas Pinball Festival.
Yep.
Also streaming the Texas Championships, and then in 2025, 26, we're putting in for the U.S. Championships.
Oh.
'Cause we have a museum that we'll talk about later coming up, but yeah, I got to have backup. I literally have done what you do. I have every chord and then a backup to every chord. I've checked them and I switch them and I make sure everything is, because the anxiety is a real thing. The anxiety is a real thing.
When you come over, to take a look at the rigs, because the rigs are incredibly modular.
I'm gonna be taking pictures with the rigs and
yeah, no problem. But there's a control box on them that houses everything. That's also the marshalling point for everything. So you can build a rig in 5 minutes.
Well, the frame goes open 3 to 5 minutes, and there are 5 cameras on it. Well, 3 cameras and two receivers on it,
and a microphone.
So the microphone that probably takes another 10.
But it's all
the system was designed to be taken on a plane, because we designed it for Italy, and we cannot drive to Italy, so we had to fly, and therefore the design of the new system, like post.
The whole rig is less than 20 kilograms in a bag, and the bag is not oversized luggage.
Yeah.
So the design of the poles and everything, that it's all made to measure. There's nothing just pre-ordered, and lightweight. So it's aluminium tubes and things, and it fits into a bag which you can take onto a plane in normal luggage. And all 3 are identical. So 3 identical bags would need 3.
You're my hero. Both of you, what you should do next time, which would be really cool, is you should make a YouTube short of you putting it together.
Yeah, true.
And then putting it together, and like you could even use what was that famous British comedian Benny Hill music. You could, but whatever. But it would be really cool to see.
Yeah, a rig going up in next to no time. Because I've noticed again, the other streamers tend to use the IE design rig, which is absolutely fine. But it's fairly big and heavy. And then strap things to it. So you build a rig, and then the next thing you've got a bag full of batteries, you've got a bag full of cameras, and rather than it being sort of already pre-loomed and all the rest of it, it's sort of strapped.
Cabling, that's what we used to do until we figured out that cabling is the biggest amount of time.
Unreliability.
Therefore, make a cable tree beforehand, stick it in your connecting point, and then it's just 5 connections. So it's 5 power connections and 5 data connections, and that's it.
Cool.
Anyway, this is getting a bit technical.
No, don't worry about it. I said I was going to give it 10 minutes for the streamers, and we lost everybody else, but don't even worry about it. It's fine. All right, so back to pinball. Escher Lekhoff is 20 years old, #1 player in the world.
Yep.
Jason Dollar is 19, #2 player in the world. And Arvid Flagger?
Vigo.
Arvid is the 3rd.
Oh, Arvid Flagger,
yeah. He's 15 years old. So I mean, we have a youth movement in competitive pinball that's pretty awesome. What about the future for both pinball and competitive pinball? And what do you think about this youth movement?
Well, the age is definitely coming down. I mean, the older guys can compete on experience, machine knowledge, ability to cope with high-level tournaments and things, but the younger guys the reactions are just so much faster. Their ability to take in the rules, the ability to work out the deep side of the rules in order to take full advantage of the scoring systems and things is just phenomenal, and that comes from gaming. It's gaming experience that gives these young guys that. And they are getting younger and younger. We've got guys in Europe. Obviously, Johannes Ostermeier now is the old man. Okay, he's 21. 21. So he's more or less out of it now. We've got Paul Englert. Absolutely tremendous player. Turned 17. He's going to be out of it soon. You know, and then you go down. You've got Arvid, you've got Viggo, you've got you go down to a little 8-year-old that was playing in Holland. I mean, it's
that was we had an awesome encounter there.
The unfortunate thing I think at the moment is that all of these younger guys are the sons and daughters of pinball players.
Right.
Why is it unfortunate?
Well, I only say it's unfortunate because
that's the way of life. I mean, dynasties are everywhere. I mean,
but
I think what he's trying to say is that wouldn't it be better if we can then also pull in their friends?
Yeah, exactly.
And then, because we have a lot of gray hairs around here, right? And so we want to continue this great hobby.
Absolutely.
And the youth movement, and if they can pull in their friends and if they can pull in their buddies and go, listen, man, you're going to get addicted to this.
Yeah.
It'll be fun.
Yeah, but that happens. I mean, first you pull in the partner or group of friends. Well, Paul said and Johannes, so their friends do like to play pinball with them, but obviously the guys are then very bored with them because it's not the same level. So,
right.
Yeah,
that's right. That's true.
It's but for the younger players or younger people, if you want to play tournaments, somebody has to take you there. It's an expensive kind of situation. So therefore, if you're going with a parent, who is another pinball player, you're more likely to go than to draw on somebody who is not your parent, and therefore,
So maybe the way to grow it within the general populace is through our clubs like ours at Free Play. You've similar lots and lots of similar places in America where people can go along and just play for an evening's entertainment.
Yeah. You know what Dallas does for their tournaments, and I think we're going to implement this. Or no, maybe it was San Diego. It was San Diego. I went to San Diego, and if you had an IFPA ranking of 5,000 or more, it only cost you $5 to play in that tournament.
Oh, wow.
Nice.
Okay.
That's an incentive.
Yeah.
And so we're going to implement that here at the Wormhole. I just announced that, so now we have to do it. But if you have an IFPA 5,000 or more, your chances of winning some of this cash back are smaller. So you know what? We're just going to put that to the house, and you come and you just play pinball, and you ask as many questions as possible, and we'll help you.
Yeah,
that's a great system. Yeah, good for you.
Yeah,
so that was San Diego. I'm ripping that off there too. So
no, the venues that have in our neck of the woods, the pinball is taxable, so you can't really have a commercial venue because you have to pay 40 quid a month per pinball machine to put it up in public if you're doing it commercially. So therefore, most of the venues here are clubs and collectives. So we have a charitable status, and we're allowed to be open for public. So we can't have the coin operation in. So basically, everybody who comes through the door pays an entry fee, and then everything is set on Free Play. And all the open days are an absolutely great adventure for families with kids. I mean, we also do company days out and things. And then people come and say, oh, can we do it a kid's birthday with you? And of course you can. So you can, and we have, I think we do at least 2 kids' birthdays a month.
Yeah.
Oh, that's fantastic.
That's a great source of younger talent. I did the company day out with my company there, and there were some younger guys who were absolutely great, and they felt encouraged to they never played pinball, but the natural abilities were amazing. So that's
we rent out the Wormhole too, Dina. And
you need to try it out, and then if you're sort of good at it, then you're likely to continue.
And the first thing we always do is we have tournaments here on these days. Here's a card. Here's where we're going. Come here Saturday of every month. Come here the first Monday. And so
we sell out at Free Play. We sell out every open day within hours. I mean, the people have to book online in order to come because you couldn't do it via just a door entry system.
Well, we used to do that before before Corona,
yeah.
and we had 120 people through the door in 5 hours of opening.
Yeah, we can't fit that here.
Well, we can't fit that here, so they weren't there simultaneously,
Yeah.
but like, you know,
we
through
can
the
go with
evening.
about 60 people
See,
maximum.
as comfortable as we can do here. So we're building a museum in
Nice.
Houston, and so Tim has 173 pins in his collection, and then John has about 50. So we're well stocked with a variety. But Tim has gone down. I'll share this with you, and then we'll shut it down in a minute. But Tim has gone down this European wormhole buying of rare titles.
Oh, nice.
And this is what's coming in the wormhole or soon. I wrote these down here. Top pin from Bell Games. No one. I don't know. Vern's World from Spinball. Wild Schultz and Dark Rider from Geiger.
Wild Schultz is the strikes and spares, isn't it?
Yeah. Strikes and spares equivalent. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. Andromeda is right here. That's getting set up right now. And then New Wave from Bell Games.
Okay.
I don't know New Wave. So he's into, they're being tested. So we have to test them before they can come to the wormhole because they get banged on here and we have the tournaments and they have to be, we really need them to be perfect.
Yeah.
So we have the shed system that they go to the shed when they come in and the techs, it's all about techs too, isn't it? How important are techs?
And there are some great. I mean, there's some people who are just naturals. We've got some great guys in most of our locations who just have that ability to see an issue and know from experience, know what it is. It's not from putting lots of equipment and great diagnostic skills. I've seen that before. It was that switch, and and it's that level of experience is just
invaluable for our guy. His name is Brian Foytik, and this Cosmic Princess behind me wasn't coming in very well. It wasn't working, and so this is rare. That's an Australian Stern, and then so he fixed everything there. That's playing great. The Barracuda, and then that trailer is a Spanish. It's a tractor trailer, and the guy's arm is the playfield arm is him holding
cool. All the Spanish classics are absolutely amazing.
There's a guy, I don't know if you've seen me streaming him, called Julio. Julio from has been the champion for a long time.
I've seen him on, but
he plays with an absolutely tremendous energy. If you watch him, he's never still. He's literally shaking the machine. But he rarely tilts. He does tilt, but he rarely tilts. And I've been over and played some tournaments in Madrid in the club he plays.
He doesn't play in Madrid.
Well, he was there. Yeah. And I first time I walked into this room, Dina wasn't there. It was actually our stag weekend.
The stag weekend.
Stag weekend on a tournament in Madrid. Anyway, and I walked in this room, and the room is full of
Spanish classics and played by Julios. Yeah,
it was just every player was a Julio. They were all playing with this manic sort of amazing shaking of machine.
Oh, that's hilarious.
And
that's how we learned how to play.
And the machines were the machines like you've got behind that. They were all absolutely amazing things. You just don't see. They were made special editions or special versions for the standard.
Yeah, Tim geeks on them, right? And I love that he does, because like that Kiss, that's a German Kiss.
Oh, right, okay. So it has a different back glass, doesn't it?
The S is
yeah.
So that was made specifically for Germany.
Yeah. We streamed a Paragon at Freddy's without a right upper flipper.
Okay.
Yeah. It has the hole through the playfield, and it has a mechanism underneath, but it doesn't have the flipper fitted. And that was we found out as part of streaming that was made specially for the European market. because something to do with they thought it was cheating having an upper flip, an upper flipper there. So
Not
they
great.
made a version, and like everybody that watched it on stream said,
Hmm?
"Where's the flipper?"
Where's the flipper? Where's my Paragon third flipper? So,
Yeah.
Jim and Dina, thank you so much for meeting with me today. This has been really amazing. I really appreciate it. Please visit JDL Pinball on Facebook and Twitch and see their videos on demand on YouTube. Just search JDL Pinball if you're not already a subscriber, but you should be. This podcast, we're going to put this up later tonight. It's going to be bedtime for you soon, but in the States, I'll put this up around 7 p.m. our time, which is 2 or 3 in the morning for you. So, but just search Wormhole Pinball Presents on anywhere you can download podcasts. And of course, our video companion will be on YouTube. Any questions for me? No, right?
Well, I think you've told us a lot about what you do. We'll look forward to you coming over to Europe, and we'll look after you and your wife as well when you're over here. Just make sure you give us some advance notice. So we're
Absolutely,
not,
we'll give you 6 months at least, I'm sure. And we'd love to have you when we do open the museum, and it is going to be amazing. We'll let everyone know that's a 2025 project, and they are building it as we speak. So.
Okay. Well, look, thank you very much for inviting us on this. It's been,
oh my gosh, this has been fantastic. Great. Thank you guys so much, Jim.
Thank you, Jamie. Thank you, everybody.
See you
take
soon,
care.
okay?
Right. Good luck.
Bye, guys.
Bye. Bye. Bye.